Hey guys, so here we got the EF Sedan project. We're going to be putting a B20 swap into this one. LS cable trans. This is the old EF. Going to be taking some parts from here. Yeah, this is going to be a fun time. It's been a while since we messed with these. Then we got our engine here. Still missing a couple parts. We're going to be swapping over the post mount. Getting rid of this guy. We don't need power steering, AC or nothing. Getting our alternator on here. Still got injectors, throttle body. Little stuff to finish up. We're going to be robbing our parts from this guy. Except that post mount, we got that one. But we're going to take the alternator. We're going to pull the harness and swap to the Obd1 and Mpfi conversion for this project. We're going to get into that in a little while. Alright, so we got our alternator off. Definitely a bit of a mess. Got our bracket. Let's give them a little bit of a clean. Alright, so we cleaned our alternator. We've gotten our post mount on here. You got to get the kind of angled one. That's the one you're going to find on like a B20, I believe. But this one is off a D series. And we got our power steering pump bracket off, I believe. And yeah, now we need some injectors, the throttle body, and all that. I do have this intake manifold here. This is off of a B16 head. As that AM fill rail I'm going to take off of it as well. I'm not sure what kind of injectors are in there, but we're going to find out. And they're IPT 4108s, which are 240cc injectors, so that should do good for what we're doing. We're just doing an all motor build for the moment. We'll get back to those later. So we'll get that cleaned up and put back on there. Alright, so we got our post mount on, we got our alternator, we got our fuel rail, injectors, and our throttle body on. It's all kind of mocked up in place. We're still waiting on some gaskets. So here we have the harness that we're going to be using for the B20 Sedan. So this is the harness out of the Sedan, the original engine harness. We're going to use the original one because it's a lot easier to wire it up to the engine than it is the other way around. So things that we're going to be swapping, I'm not going to go through, I'm just going to run through real quick. Distributor plugs, we're going to have to get the SI Civic to do the Obd1 conversion, and also get that 7th pin for the crank signal. So this one was over here on the harness. That was for the original DPFI throttle valves, where we now got it tied into the coolant sensor because it's no longer going to be on the back of the block. It's going to be over by the ground signal. A couple of things we did, we had to swap these outside two wires on the TPS, and that's it for that. We have this guy, I forget the exact name for this one, but it was too short, so we just extended it over here, and it's going to be running with our TPS signal. And we have yet to work on the injector wiring, but we're going to be getting to that. But that's what we got so far. One more thing. I did have this wire here It was kind of broken all, but this is your oil pressure sending unit. So extended that one just to have that, and now it's time to do injectors. Alright, so we got our injector wiring harness portion here, and this is how it's roughly going to sit. It's going to go up. We have this plug that's going to go into the cabin. And then this is going to be our resistor box block off. Definitely needs a lot of work here. But yeah, we're going to get this all cleaned up and wired in, and it'll be just about done. So here's what we got. Unravel the injector harness. Took out the AIT because we're going to be putting ours back here. No specific reason, but in case it ever goes to a D-swap in the future, it's on the back of the manifold instead of over on the front by the injectors. We're going to end up taking from the DX manifold the yellow and the red wire, and they're going to connect into these two here, going into the body harness, or into the cabin, so what. And then we're going to deal with the resistor box. That'd be great. Alright, so we made some progress on the harness. Injectors are all wired in. We got our one over here, and then we got all our negatives. It's a little bit long, but got them all connected into the resistor box. I ended up taking out a couple of the extra ones, and then we just got our 4 negatives for the injectors, and then our 1 power looping into the 2 extra wires that came off the DPFI side. And we're just about done. Got our oil pressure extended, left that alone, swapped the 2 on those, left that alone. Got this guy extended. We do have to still do the distributor wires, but waiting on the RAM connector for that. So we got these extra 2 that came from that plug from the injector power. But yeah, once we get that back, we'll finish up the harness.